What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. With that being said, man, I wanna react to a video that I ran across. This guy is Gary828 Sports Talk, right? And now the video that his video is called exposing ESPN and Colin Cowherd for both lying about LeBron James, right? And so he make a lot of great points ahead, which I agree with. But I think that my reason, I really want to talk about why I think that everybody in mainstream media and the NBA and everybody else is promoting in line for LeBron James. And I think that the main reason is the NBA chose LeBron James back in 2002, 2003 to be the he's a chosen one, right? The next one in line, to come after Mike and Kobe and all those guys and Bird Magic, right? And I just think that the NBA has so much vested in LeBron James, too much invested in him, where though they can't really back out of that deal. They had to see this thing through, right? Nike is invested, and I think that with LeBron James on his way out, it's just really too late now, you know what I mean, for them to say, you know what, LeBron James is not really the GOAT. He's not really it's just bad business. Just when I which I'm thinking that they think is bad business. They're taking advantage of the fact that LeBron James is polarizing, and they're just trying to get what they can get out of it. Like, he is polarizing. He's good for bringing attention to these different networks. He's good for bringing attention to ESPN, or and everybody, as far as like in the media, he's good for that. Now, what he's not good for, because he's polarizing, he's not good for like sales for merch and stuff like that. Not like somebody who, because a polarizing figure won't sell as much as somebody who is beloved. Like LeBron James, he's not as marketable to the public as somebody like Kobe with that Black Mamba mentality, right? Magic Johnson is more marketable than LeBron James. A lot, because they're not as polarizing. They're more liked. LeBron James is more controversial, and so it's harder to sell on controversy than it is somebody who is beloved. People buy and shop from you because they like you, not because you're polarizing, right? And so these networks, the NBA, they're just trying to maximize the money that they can make off of LeBron James while they can make it. It wouldn't, like, they will really be spiting themselves if they just say, well, LeBron James is, if they say anything other than what they're saying, or allow any other narrative to come out other than what they're what's coming out. So they have to play along with it. But still, with that being said, I'm gonna play some audio from this guy, Gary828, because he do point out how, Colin Cowherd, is he exposed Colin Cowherd for being a trader and being basically for sale.
If a casual was scrolling over my channel this past week, they would swear I was just clickbaiting and regurgitating the same video over and over for views. But sadly, every one of these videos displays a new and different example of lies and manipulation from ESPN, FS1, and Clutch Sports Group to fabricate a false narrative and attempt to elevate the career of LeBron James and promote him to the masses as the GOAT. And every one of these videos shows a prime example of that and points out how they're lying. And this video here may be my magnum opus.
All right, now like I said, I don't think that maybe Clutch Sports think that they can elevate LeBron James to the GOAT status, but I don't think that ESPN, Fox Sports, or any of those like major media outlets think that they can elevate LeBron James to the GOAT. It's just been too much pushback. But it is good for content, and it's good for drawing attention to to these networks. So they are going to maximize from that standpoint.
Because I have irrefutable evidence how Colin Cowherd is lying. And ironically, it was after he teamed up with ESPN a few days ago that offered up said evidence. Buckle up. This is going to be a doozy. Okay, to present this evidence to the court, I have to take you back to a year ago. Now, stick with me here. I promise you, I'm going somewhere with this. If you remember, in the summer of 2025, it had just been announced that Michael Jordan was coming back to NBC, right? Well, everyone, including myself, thought that Jordan would be a weekly studio analyst for the live games. There was all this hype and anticipation. He was about to educate this current generation of NBA fans on the game, and that would expose LeBron as completely overrated. So the writing was on the wall, and Colin Cowherd is a businessman who started his own media company, The Volume, where he holds his own personal podcast, as well as Nick Wright and Draymond Green.
And see, that's what it is. It's a business decision, right? Everybody, they're just making money off of LeBron James. That's all it is. And once LeBron James is out of the league, I don't think it's going to work as well once he's out of the league, especially with the NBA. I don't think the NBA will ever get to the point where as though they like, they're not going to say anything bad or disparaging about him. But because he is in the NBA, they still have to finish out this business deal that they have, or this business agreement that they have, and they're going to see it through. Same thing with Colin Cowherd, Nick Wright, and all. As soon as LeBron James is not useful to them, they be on to the next story.
Jason Temp and a few others. And Colin and every contributor from The Volume pushes the fake narrative that LeBron is better than Jordan.
Now, I have MJ over LeBron all time. My take for why I think LeBron is the GOAT.
LeBron James is better at basketball than anyone I've ever seen. Period, point blank. And when you say, what did Jordan do better? It's a good question.
Michael needed Scottie and Phil. LeBron just needs a ball.
Now that's funny. Like you had Nick Wright and Colin Cowherd, saying the things about LeBron James, good things. And so now he's going to give examples coming up of them on the other side of the argument.
One with a wing, he won with a point guard, he won with a big, he won with 4 different coaches. Is that Michael needed things to work, or he couldn't even get to the finals.
But of course, Colin knows that's cap. But Colin and Clutch Sports had an arrangement. Nothing legally binding, of course, but they had a mutual agreement to help the other prosper. Colin and his employees promote LeBron as the GOAT, and Clutch will elevate their platforms and make them stars on social media. That's why you've seen the sudden rise of Shannon Sharpe, Colin Cowherd, and Nick Wright after they got the FS1 in 2016 and started pumping LeBron over Jordan. Now, because Colin doesn't have a legally binding contract with Clutch and their arrangement is under the table, Colin can always shift his take at any point he feels it's no longer beneficial for the volume. And as I pointed out on a previous video, Colin has absolutely no loyalty. He follows the money. The only thing he cares about is turning the volume into an empire. Colin's that guy in the Mafia movie that gets whacked for switching sides, as I'm about to show you that he's done multiple times in the past year. All right, lock in because I'm about to connect these dots and it is going to be glorious. So in the summer of 2025, when Jordan was announced to join NBC, LeBron had just finished his 22nd season and his NBA career was winding down. So Colin Cowherd, being the entrepreneur that he is, made the business decision to hop off the LeBron wagon and try to align himself up with Michael Jordan, even though he spent the last decade throwing shade at Jordan every chance he got.
Going to baseball like MJ. Couldn't win without Pippen.
As I said, Colin...
See, and that's what I said. All right, so... And it's all about money. So Colin Cowherd, once LeBron James leaves, and that was an example of Colin Cowherd, he's just ready to jump ship. Once LeBron James is out the league, then they're going to change their alliances because they're not going to be getting paid, or they're not going to make money off of telling these false stories about LeBron James. So that's the only way LeBron James can stay. It's not even about basketball. It's more so about a narrative, and it's more so about clicks and views than it is with LeBron James. So LeBron James, man, is just, in my opinion, it's just a sad case.
Follows the money, and there was much anticipation overflowing about Michael Jordan joining NBC. So before I expose the lies on the video Colin made covering the ESPN article this week, I need to build a baseline of Colin's patterns so you'll see just how egregious that video really was. Look at how he totally flipped his position on LeBron and Jordan last summer.
Do players talk about the GOAT conversation, MJ and LeBron?
Oh, all the time. I mean, I literally have this conversation after every game that the Lakers play, or if we're watching The Last Dance. And it's definitely in the locker room. I think a lot of guys that are playing in our game right now, current players, will say that LeBron's the best. Obviously, the friends I have are all in their, late 20s, early 30s, so we all agree. But there's always that one friend or that one guy in the locker room that will say Jordan. And it's kind of crazy that some guys will say Jordan.
MJ's always been more popular. That's not even disputable. And I would say about 75 to 80% of the people think MJ's the GOAT, not LeBron.
Always that one friend or that one guy in the locker room that will say Jordan.
75 to 80% of the people think MJ's the GOAT, not LeBron. Well, and I also think LeBron did something. LeBron decided this year, I'm going to lead the league in assists. I've always said LeBron's got a lot of wilt in him. Wilt did that at one point in his career. He said, I'm going to lead the league in assists, and Wilt led the league in assists. Is that Wilt could have done, Wilt was a little bit of a flake. LeBron's not, but he's done something recently.
See, all right. So basically, they could put any spin on it that they want. And that's why it's important as a basketball fan that people just speak for them or think for themselves, and don't allow, somebody like Colin Cowherd or Nick Wright, who they have an agenda, and it's all about money, and it's all about getting people for clicks and views. But if you really care about the sports and you're not really worried about, clicks and views, or you don't have an agenda, then you're not going to allow somebody like Colin Cowherd, Nick Wright, or Shannon Sharp to mislead you into thinking that LeBron is the GOAT. I just think that, because you wouldn't have to lie about Michael Jordan or how good he was. You wouldn't have to lie about Kobe, Magic, or Bird, because they put that work in and they proved it on the court, and so, but with LeBron James, man, he just, he put this narrative out there, and he just so polarizing that it just makes for good content for a lot of different platforms, and it's going, back and forth. So that, that generates a lot of money, that type of, that type of content. So that's my take on it. I'm not surprised, I'm not surprised that these guys are it's about money for them, and they don't care about the GOAT argument. But the thing is, LeBron James, I think he's going to be the one. He's going to get used up. He basically is going to get used up. And when he's no longer the storyline, then, he'll feel it. He'll feel it then. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And I'll check y'all out in the next video. Peace.